Hello, students of first BSc Chemistry. Good afternoon. We have seen the parts of speech in the last class. There are 8 parts of speech in the English language, and the 8 parts of speech in the English language are 1. Noun, 2. Pronoun, 3. Verb, 4. Adverb, 5. Adjective, 6. Preposition, 7. Interjection, 8. Conjunction. So these are the 8 parts of speech. In this class, we shall see what is a noun, pronoun and adjective. Let us begin this class with a story. Please listen the story carefully. This story is about a girl and her father. The girl and father, they had a discussion. The daughter has some problem. She has some personal problem, and the problems are all repeatedly faced by her. So, out of frustration, the daughter once complained to her father that her life was so miserable. And she further said that she didn't know how she was going to make it. The girl was much worried about her future. That is why the girl complained to her father. The daughter complained to her father that her life was miserable. The girl was tired of fighting and struggling all the time. Somehow, she had some problem in the school. Among her friends, she had some problem. So the girl was tired of fighting and struggling all the time. For her, if one problem was solved, another one soon followed. Probably she might have had some health problem also. So, when problem was solved for the girl, another one soon followed. Immediately, within a few days, the girl has to face a new problem. So out of frustration only, the daughter complained to her father that her life was miserable. Dear students, you may also come across such a situation in your life, and you might have made a complaint to your parents or your elder brothers or your uncles, aunties or some of your relatives, or at least to your friend. You might have made a complaint that the life is so miserable. See, in this story, the father is a chef. Do you know the meaning of chef? That means he is a cook. He prepares food. And one who prepares food commercially, that means he may work in a hotel or he may prepare food to supply in marriage functions. So her father is a chef. He took the daughter to the kitchen. In the kitchen, the chef or father of the daughter, girl, he filled 3 pots with water. And he kept all the 3 pots separately on fire. The fire was high. So he placed the pots with water on a high fire. After some time, the 3 pots, they began to boil. When the water started boiling, he placed potatoes in one pot and he left eggs in another second pot or in another pot. And in the third pot, he left grounded coffee beans. See, we know the nature of potatoes, raw potatoes. Raw potatoes are very solid in nature. Whereas eggs, we have to handle eggs very carefully, because the egg cell may break at any time if it is left, or if it falls down, the egg may break. Egg cell, if it is break, then the egg gets spoiled. We cannot make use of the egg. So the eggs are weak structures when compared to the potatoes. Potatoes are very strong and they are very solid in nature, whereas eggs, we have to handle the eggs very careful. And the grounded coffee beans, that is also a solid. It is in the form of a powder. So in one pot, potatoes are left, and in another pot, eggs are left for boiling, and in the third pot, the chef has left grounded coffee beans. So the three pots, they were set on a high fire and they were allowed to boil for some time. See, the chef, he let them boil and he sat for some time. He didn't say anything to his daughter. The daughter was observing his father, and without any patience, impatiently she waited. She was wondering what her father was doing. So the daughter didn't have any patience. She impatiently waited, and she was wondering what he was doing. What her father was doing. After some 20 minutes or 30 minutes, the chef or the father of the girl, he turned off the burners. Now, the chef took the potatoes out of the pot and placed them on a bowl. From the second pot, he pulled the eggs, or he took the eggs out of the second pot. And in the third pot, what he has left in the third pot, that is grounded coffee beans. So after some time, the grounded coffee beans, it has got settled in the bottom, and the color of water has changed. That is coffee beans, the color, that is the decoction that has come out. So the chef, he ladled the coffee into a cup from the third pot. Now, potatoes were left in the first pot for boiling, eggs were left for boiling in the second pot, and coffee beans, grounded coffee beans, was left in the third pot for boiling. After 30 minutes, the chef has taken the potatoes out of the pot, the boiled egg out of the pot, and he has transferred or ladled the coffee out of the third pot. Now, the chef asked his daughter, "Hello, my dear daughter, please, you look closer." And he asked her to touch the potatoes. The potatoes have become very soft. So before boiling, the potatoes were not so soft. The potatoes were very solid. Now, the potato is broken. After boiling, when the girl touched the potato was broken into pieces. And when she touched the egg, she felt that the egg can be broken easily. So she broke the egg easily, and inside that, the inner part of the egg has become a solid mass, but that is also very soft. So after pulling off the shell, she observed that the boiled egg was little bit hard, but it was not a liquid, or it is a protein fluid only. It was not fluid in nature. So the boiled egg was little bit hard. And finally, the father has transferred the coffee from the third pot. The coffee was very rich in aroma. It was very good in taste. He added sugar and the father gave the coffee to his daughter. Because of the rich aroma, the daughter was a little bit happy. It brought a smile to her face. And the girl asked, "Father, for what purpose you are doing all these things? Father, what does this mean? You have taken potatoes, eggs and grounded coffee bean powder and you left them in 3 separate pots. After boiling, you asked me to touch the potatoes. The potatoes were not solid. It is broken into pieces. The egg, which has to be handled very carefully, now has become very solid. And the coffee beans, the powder is remaining in the bottom. It is remaining as such, but the water has turned into coffee decoction. If you have added sugar and that is taste good. By all these things, by doing all these things, what you want to say to me?" See, now the father explained. See, boiling water. The pot filled with water is left in high fire. So when you heat, the water gets boiled. That is an adverse situation. So under adverse conditions, the potatoes, they have changed their nature. The potatoes have become very soft. In the second pot, the egg, it has also changed its nature, but it has become little bit hard. But in the third pot, I left grounded coffee beans. The grounded coffee beans is also boiled, but its nature has not changed. It is remaining in the powder form, but the water has changed. The water has changed into fine coffee. If I add sugar and if you drink it, it is very good in taste and it gives you a very good aroma. So you had a fine coffee. See, I have given adverse conditions or difficult condition for all the 3 pots. The potato cannot withstand the adverse condition. In the beginning, the potato was very strong. It was hard and it was unrelenting. That means it was not ready to give up. So the potato which went in strong, inside the pot which went in strong, it was hard and unrelenting, but when it is boiled in water, it became soft and weak. Whereas in the second pot, the egg was fragile and the thinner outer cell that is protecting its liquid or protein fluid in the inner core of the egg. It is a liquid, but when it was allowed to boil in the water, the inside of the egg has become very hard. But the cell can be broken, the inside of the egg has become very hard. But in the third part, I have left coffee beans, grounded coffee beans or ground coffee beans. The ground coffee beans is very unique. It was powdery in nature. I have given the same adverse condition to the ground coffee beans also. So the situation is the same, but the behavior of coffee beans is very unique. It has not changed in its nature. When it was exposed to the adverse condition, it has not changed its nature. So instead of changing itself, The coffee beans has changed the water and created something new. That is your coffee. So you must learn a lesson from these. See, my dear, now whether you are going to behave like a potato or like a egg or like the coffee beans. He asked the starter, which were you? Whether you are a potato or a egg or a coffee beans, ground coffee beans. So how will you respond? He asked. When adversity knocks on your door, how do you respond? Or how would you respond? What are you going to be? Are you a potato, an egg, or a coffee bean? Now, dear students, I ask the same question to you also. This is a moral story which is taken from the website, namely https://www.moralstories.organization. Struggles of our life. Just like this moral story, we have good number of moral stories in this website. If you want, you can go to this website and read the moral stories. It is given in the website www.moralstories.organization. So, you can read these moral stories. Now, dear students, I am asking you, when you are facing an adverse condition like this, whether you are going to be a potato or an egg or a coffee bean. So this is the moral story. Based on this moral story, I have to teach English grammar. See, in this lesson, we are focusing on the nouns, pronouns, slight modification of nouns, that is pronouns, and adjectives. So you must know what is a noun, what is a pronoun, and what is an adjective. See, you have listened to the story. If you listen to the story, can you identify which are the noun, pronoun, and adjective? How many words are nouns, pronouns, and adjectives? So let me explain first what is a noun. So noun is a naming word. For that purpose only nouns are used. If you use any naming word, that is a noun. For example, if your father is working with wood, he is making furnitures, tables, etc., doors for a house, etc. Then how do you call them? He is called as a carpenter. The person who makes furniture, doors, windows, everything, he is called as a carpenter. So that is a naming word and that is a noun. Just like this, in this story also, you might have come across a few naming words. Identify those naming words. They are all nouns. And when we are using a naming word repeatedly, instead of telling, we are using the other words that can be used instead of a noun. And the other words which can be used instead of a noun are called as pronouns. For example, the words like I, we, you, he, she, it, they, and like these other words are also there, and such words are called as pronouns. So, suppose if myself is telling a story, I am Ananda Ratchakan. If I tell a story about me, I need not say, students, this is Anand Rachakan. Anand Rachakan has gone to this place. He has bought this. Instead of saying repeatedly my name or myself, my profession is teaching, so I am a teacher. Since I work in a college, I can be called as a professor. It is a noun, professor, because it is a naming word. Professor, professor. I am a professor. So instead of telling professor, if I use these words, I, we, you, he, she, it, they, etc., then they are called as pronouns. That is the difference. So a pronoun is a word used instead of a noun. Instead of using the noun repeatedly. What is a noun? Noun is a naming word. Instead of using the noun repeatedly, we are using these words, and those words are called as pronouns. And what is an adjective? See, an adjective is a word which qualifies a noun or pronoun. It describes something. It adds something to the meaning. Such words are called as an adjective. Okay? Do you understand the meaning of adjective? The adjective is a word which qualifies a noun or pronoun. It adds something to the meaning of the noun or pronoun. For example, you are having face. The same face can be expressed like this: beautiful face. So beautiful is an adjective. Small children, the eyes are very attractive and they are brilliant also. And we used to say sparkling eyes. Eyes, noun, it's a naming word. Eyes, plural, naming word. But sparkling eyes, sparkling, that is an adjective. Dancing girl, dancing girl, dancing girl. So dancing is an adjective here. So an adjective is a word which adds something to the meaning of the noun or pronoun. Now, you have listened to the story. I give you an exercise. I will give you the story also, photograph the story also, the photo of the story also through the Google Classmate. What you have to do is, you read the story, the moral story, from the attachment that is sent by me through the Google Class, and you have to identify the nouns, pronouns and adjectives. You must give the list. And based on this, I will give you some exercise also, and you have to carry out the exercise, and you must submit it in the form of an assignment. You have to write it in the paper and you have to submit it. Take photographs of, take the scanned copy of the matter that is written by you and send it to me by email through Google Classmate. That will be considered as the assignment. Keep the material for you, for your preparations to the internal examination. So, I will put this story in the Google Classmate in the printed form. You can read it. Once again I repeat, nouns are naming words and the pronouns are used in the place of nouns. I have given several examples for nouns. For example, if a person's name is Ramar, if the name of a place is London, they are all nouns. Ramar, Krishnan, Peter, Abdullah, these are all names. They are all nouns, naming names of a person, names of a place, Waniyambadi, London, New Delhi, names of animals. Sometimes we used to call the animals with their pet names. My neighbor is having a dog. He is calling the dog by the name Jimmy. So Jimmy is a noun. Dog is a general name, but Jimmy is the noun. So this is about nouns. And coming to the pronouns. Pronouns are used in the place of nouns. I, we, you, he, she, it, they, etc. These are the, suppose if it is a story about a dog, Jimmy, then you need not say, Jimmy, the dog has gone to the market. She was waiting, it was waiting, it was waiting. The it, that is your pronoun. You need not say. In the first sentence itself, you said, Jimmy, the dog has gone to the market. You need not say. It stood before the mutton stall or chicken stall. It was waiting for a piece of bone from the shop. You can tell. So it, that is a pronoun. So naming words are noun, and if you use certain words in the place of nouns, they are called as pronouns. I, we, you, he, she, it, they. These are the pronouns. And I have told you what is an adjective. An adjective is describing something. It is adding something to the meaning of the nouns. I have given you some example. Adverse conditions. Adverse. That is here. Difficult times. Difficult. These are all describing words. So they are all adjectives. Difficult, adverse, beautiful, sparkling, dancing. Okay. So these are all adjectives, not adverbs. Adjectives. So adjectives add some meaning to the nouns. So I clearly explained you what is a noun, what is a pronoun, and what is an adjective. Noun is the naming words, and pronouns are words which are used in the place of nouns. And what is an adjective? An adjective is describing something, and it is adding the meaning, it adds some meaning to the nouns. So from the story that I have told you in the beginning, namely the potatoes, the eggs and coffee beans, please identify the nouns, pronouns and the adjectives. Give the list of nouns, pronouns and adjectives in the story that you have read. I will put the story also in the printed form in Google Classmate. You can go through it. Let us meet in the next class. Thank you.
Students, now listen to the PowerPoint presentation. See, in this PowerPoint presentation, I am discussing about you the grammar in context. So in grammar in context, here we have to discuss about the naming and describing methods in English grammar. So naming and describing, it is done by nouns, pronouns and adjectives. So let us understand what is a noun, pronoun and adjective. From the audio lecture given by me, you might have understood what is a noun, pronoun and an adjective. Now let us go to the exercise part. As I told you in the lecture, I will put the moral story, that is motivational text, in Google Class. So in the PowerPoint I have given it. You can freeze and read the story. Motivational text is given in 2 slides. You can freeze and read the story repeatedly. If you have this reading practice, then you yourself will realize which are the nouns, pronouns and adjectives given in the story. You can easily identify since you know the meaning of a noun, pronoun and an adjective. So this is your first part of the story. The second part also you have the story. See, I have given the source. The source is given in blue line. So all of you are having the internet connection. If you go through the net and if you give the website address, then you can read the moralstories.organization. So struggles of our life, you can read this moral story in the website address given in blue letters also. And in addition to this, if you are interested, you can read other moral stories also. Okay, you can repeatedly read. As reading practice makes you good in English grammar, you can read. So now let us go to the exercise part. First, let us see what is given in exercise 1. See, the focus of the lesson is naming. That is the use of nouns and describing. In the story, can you list the nouns and adjectives in the story you have read? So this is your first exercise. Can you list the nouns and adjectives in the story you have read? You have to give a list of the nouns and adjectives in the story you have read. Coming to the exercise 2, you have to fill in the blanks. This is also from the story. So using the nouns you are familiar with from the passage given, complete the following sentences. 1. A person for whom cooking is a profession is known as a dash. Fill the blanks. The answer is in the story. There is a proverbial expression which says, don't add fuel to the dash. The blank space that has to be filled with a noun. The noun is noun, you can find it in the story. That will fill the sentence and complete the sentence. Fill the blanks and complete the sentence. Third one is, this endless argument is like asking which came first, the chicken or the dash. So you have to find a naming word suitable for the blanks in exercise 3. Question number 3. Exercise 2, question number 3. This endless argument is like asking which came first, the chicken or the dash. Fourth question is, the empowered woman does not spend her life in the dash. Just cooking and cleaning dash and pans. So you have to find 2 nouns from the story. Fifth one, you should be emotionally strong in times of dash. Find a noun. You have to fill it. Coming to exercise 3, it is about the adjectives. Using the adjectives you are familiar with from the passage given, complete the following sentences. First one, having lost her wallet, she felt dash. When you are receiving the lecture itself, you can write it in you can write it in your notebook. Keep a separate notebook for communicative English. So you can write it. And you can fill it. You can complete the exercise. Having lost her wallet, she felt dash. So have this practice, right? Or if you cannot write it quickly, you will go through the lecture, freeze it and write it. Question number 2, handle with care. Dash glassware inside. Find a suitable adjective before the word glassware. You have to fill the blank. Handle with care. Dash glassware inside. Third one, dash garam masala is sprinkled before serving. You know what is a garam masala. So our people are fond of food items which are rich in garam masala. All the NV items prepared by your mother, they are rich in garam masala. And some of our young boys nowadays, they prefer these masala puri, pani puri. So they are also rich in garam masala. So dash garam masala is sprinkled before serving. Buys like noodles, yippee noodles. So they fill in the blanks. Dash garam masala is sprinkled before serving. Find the answer. You have to fill it with an adjective. Answer is given in the story. Fourth one, there are two types of water, dash water and dash water. So find two adjectives to fill the two blanks given in question number 4. He complained of dash fever. See, find the adjective from the, I warn you, I give you a hint also. Find the adjective from the story. Don't try to fill the blanks from your common knowledge. Sometimes it may misfire. He complained of dash fever. Our boys, they will easily fill. He complained of viral fever. That is wrong. Because viral, the adjective is not given, that word is not given in the story. So find the adjective. Right? He complained of dash fever. Don't put viral. Viral, it is because of virus. Now we are all having a virus problem. That is a corona pandemic. So don't put viral fever. Fill it with a suitable adjective that you can find from the story. Read the story repeatedly. Definitely you can get the answer. He complained of dash fever. Okay. Now let us move to the descriptive part once again. As I already explained, the matter is given clearly. What are nouns? Nouns are naming words. They could be names of people, animals, place, things, ideas, feelings, and concepts. Now let us see the different types of nouns. Proper noun and common noun. These are two types of nouns. They are all explained with an example. Karthik is an intelligent boy. See, underlined word, Karthik. Karthik, it is a naming word, so it is a proper noun. It refers to a person. It refers to a boy. See, Karthik is an intelligent boy, proper noun. Boy, Karthik is an intelligent boy, B-O-Y, boy. That is also a naming word, but that is a common noun. Boy refers to anyone. It may be Karthik, Peter, Joseph, Latif, Abdullah, whatever it may be. Kumar, whatever it may be. So common name is boy, girls. These are all some of the common names. Men, man, woman. They are all common names. Dog, animal's name, dog. So, flowers, vegetables. These are all some of the common names, common nouns. Karthik is an intelligent boy. Karthik, proper noun, boy, common noun. Chennai is a city. Chennai, proper noun. We have many cities. Hyderabad, Bangalore, metropolitan cities. Chennai is a city. Proper noun. Chennai, proper noun. City, it refers to any city. Common name. So, common noun. City is a common noun. And you have another two types of nouns. Concrete noun and abstract noun. The artist has his brush and paint. It exactly says brush and paint, they are named. The artist has his brush and paint. Concrete nouns. The artist is possessing a brush and paint, because with the help of a brush and paint only he makes pictures, he draws pictures, he writes. So brush and paint are the concrete nouns. There is fish in the tank. Fish. Naming word, tank. It refers to a pot or any object which is filled with water. So they are all concrete nouns. Exactly you are saying. There is fish in the tank. Fish can be found in any water body. Okay, so it is a concrete noun, tank. When adversity knocks on your door, how do you respond? Adversity, abstract noun. Difficulty, abstract noun. The egg had lost its fragility. Fragile, it refers to the nature. Adversity, difficulty, they refer to the hard situation, nature of the situation. So the egg had lost its fragility. Fragile, that means the material is easily broken, or it can break easily. It can break easily. Glass. So the egg had lost its fragility. That means it cannot be easily broken. So fragility, abstract noun. And you must know what is meant by a collective noun. See, the police controlled the mob. Police is a naming word. So suppose if you have a antisocial activity, or if you come across any agitation, then the agitators are controlled by the police. Agitators, they are called as the mob, a group of agitators, a group of people, a group of antisocial activities, a group of politicians, they are called as mob, public. Group of people, they are also called as public, and they can also be called as mob. The police controlled the mob, collective noun. Police is a naming word. Police refers to the department or group of people who are controlling the mob. So control the mob, group of people. It is a collective noun. I live with my family. I live with my family. In a family, you have several members: father, mother, brothers, sisters, in addition to you. So, all the members of the family are collectively called by the name family. Brothers, sisters, father, mother, grandfathers, uncles, they are all called by the collective name. So they can be collectively called as family members, collective noun. Family is a collective noun. The crowd gathered. What is the meaning? The crowd gathered. That means a collection of people, a group of people gathered. That group of people is called as crowd, collective noun. And you have another pair of nouns, that is countable noun and uncountable noun. What is a countable noun? That can be counted. See, I have many books. Book. One book refers to one. Books means plural, but you can count it. So book is a naming word. Books plural, that is allowed. Plural is allowed for countable nouns. So books, you can count the number of books. So books is a countable noun. Plural allowed. How you have many books. You have a lot of knowledge. Knowledge is a noun, but you cannot count the knowledge. There is no limit. You cannot find the depth of your knowledge also. So you cannot measure. So you have a lot of knowledge. Knowledge means it is uncountable noun. You have a lot of knowledge, uncountable noun. So no plural is allowed. We don't allow plural in uncountable nouns. Apples are good for health. Apples are good for health. Apples, plural word. So it is a countable noun. You can count the number of apples. Milk is also good for health. Milk, uncountable noun. You cannot count. Okay. So milk is a uncountable noun. Naming word, milk. Name of an object. So no plural is allowed here because it is a uncountable noun. So far you have listened to the class of nouns, pronouns and adjectives. So from this, I am giving you again a exercise. It is given in your book, exercise number 4. See, list some of the nouns that you already know. give some proper nouns, at least 5. You can easily give. Give 5 proper nouns, common nouns, concrete nouns, abstract nouns, collective nouns, countable nouns, and uncountable nouns. So, totally there are 7 types of nouns. I ask you to give 5 examples for each kind of nouns. You can easily give. So, write answers for all the exercise given in this PowerPoint presentation. Scan it. You have the scanning apps. So, with the help of your cell phone and with the help of your scanning app, you can scan your answers. Write the answers in the paper. Scan it. Keep the papers for the preparation towards your CAA test and semester examinations. Forward the scanned copies to my mail ID for awarding internal marks. Please remember, go through the exercise. I have given you 4 exercises. So write answers for all the 4 exercises in your paper. Scan it. Keep the copies. You can write it on your notebook also. So preserve the notebook material for your preparation towards the CAA test, continuous internal assessment test, and also for the semester examinations. Forward the scanned copies to me. I will give you the internal marks based on your performance in the assignment. So with this, we are completing today's lecture. In the next class, let us meet with a new topic. Thank you.